It wasn't supposed to be this easy. After two hard-fought wins in Ottawa, the Sabres dominated the Senators tonight. Ottawa at times looked like a team that didn't even care. Dominik Hasek ties a club record for playoff shutouts. But Mike, this may have been the easiest game Dominik Hasek's had in the last 6 months. This was a team effort tonight. They won easily.
You know, the toughest job I had tonight was trying to pick 3 or 4 stars. I could have picked 10 or 15. Boy, what a good team effort. No passengers. Buffalo, they just simply went out, reached out, and took it. It was that simple. There is no question about it from the opening face-off. Got a show tonight here called Hockey Hotline. You're a big part of it. We want your calls. That's coming up next.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Labatt Hockey Hotline. Brian Blessing, Mike Robitaille, and a dominating performance tonight, Mike. This is downright startling. We talked about it in the pregame show. Figured Ottawa, of course, they're going to come out, play desperate hockey. They did anything but, and the Sabres did. They took it away from them.
Well, Brian, it's funny, you take a look at this series, and we both like Buffalo in the first 2 games to win, yet tonight we thought, Ottawa, if there's ever going to be a game where they step up and take a game, it will be tonight, because they didn't have any choice. They had to win tonight or it'll be over. And that's where it stands right now. The chance of them coming back and beating Buffalo or beating Dominik Hasek 4 games in a row, it's almost impossible.
All right, we're going down to Marine Midland Arena. Danny Gare standing by, and the Sabres put some offense together tonight, Danny. This was a team effort, top to bottom. Hasek gets the shutout, but he had to really relish in what he saw from his team. First of all, defensively in front of him, and down at the other end of the rink offensively. I know Brian Holzinger's with you. He had a couple tonight, but this was a great effort, good forechecking. A's all around.
Yeah, good all-around effort, and that's something that this hockey club wanted to do when they came back home in this first game here in this building, get the crowd going. They got the first goal, and I'm with the guy that picked up a couple in the second period, Brian Holzinger. And Brian, we talked about before we came on here about that first goal. It really seems to take the pressure off everybody.
Yeah, it does, and when you can get that first goal, especially in your home building, and get the fans going, and the other team starts doubting themselves a little bit, and you get the home crowd behind you, and it just seems to take off from there, and it certainly did for us tonight.
Now, you told me you were going into this game with no playoff goals in this series, but you said you had more chances in the last 18 games, and then you get a couple goals. It goes like that sometimes.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about it. You're right. I've had more quality chances in the last 18 games that didn't go in, and you get a bounce here or there, and again, tonight 2 bounces for me, and they go in. So now it's up for me to keep it going here.
When you look at this team, prior to going into the playoffs, the one thing that I really noticed about this team was its quiet confidence. I mean, you go into Ottawa, and you just seem to have a feel that you were going to win games, and you obviously came out with some wins, but talk a little bit about why maybe it was a bit of a confident factor for this team.
Well, first of all, I think this team just thrives on the playoff pressure. Obviously the last couple of years we've done well, and again, no matter what happened during the regular season, I think everybody's able to put that in the back of their minds and focus on a new season. And like you said, we have a lot of confident guys in this room. I don't think confidence is the problem, and tonight, especially in the last 3 games, we've shown it.
Let's talk a little bit about you pick up Game 3 here now. You're going back Tuesday night, hopefully to pick up Game 4. What do you do to prepare for that game?
Well, they always say the next game is always the toughest to win, and probably Game 4 to clinch a series is even going to be tougher. But we're confident. We have to refocus. There's some things we did wrong in the third period that we want to correct. Other than that, we just want to go out and play the same effort that we had in the first 2 periods.
Ryan, thanks a lot. Great game. Good luck on Tuesday.
Okay, thanks, Danny.
Ryan Holzinger, guys, picked up a couple goals tonight, second star, and really is enjoying this one here tonight, as 18,676 did here at Marine Midland Arena.
Danny, you don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Certainly, the Sabres still have to put the Senators away. But even before this game was played, I couldn't help but think back to last year and how eerily similar things are starting to play out. You look at this afternoon, now the Devils are struggling. If they ever bailed out of this thing again, the Sabres look like they've got a great opportunity, and they're very dangerous. If they get out of the first round, they could be in it for the long haul. And different players are starting to step up and bring that game to the next level, and it's a team that's coming together.
Exactly. And like Brian said, one of the things that this team had learned from last year's experiences is the fact that they love the playoff hockey. They feel very confident as a group when you get into that time frame. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, so they are expecting to go there at least or better this year, I'm sure, is what the mindset that I think is in that room right now.
You know, Dan, one of the tip-offs, I think, to Ottawa not performing up to par, certainly tonight not performing up to par, not too bad the first 2 games, but I think one of the tip-offs is that they had an opportunity to win a division championship this year. It was right there for them. As a matter of fact, they had the lead.
That's right.
And they tied, I think, Tampa Bay. They lost to Florida. Not a good sign going into the playoffs.
And I wonder about this hockey club. I can't knock them for their great season that they had, but I question some of their character in that team over there. I don't see any desperation. I mean, you're down 2-0 in a building. I didn't see anybody getting mad or upset about situations where guys were hitting the boards. Like towards the end, maybe a little bit they turned it on, but when you're in the playoffs, Mike, you know you've got to be desperate. You got to have some passion. I don't see that over on the other side of the rink.
But you know, isn't it interesting, Danny, when you look back to the last half of the season for this Buffalo Sabre hockey club, you could say the same thing about them many nights, yet
sure you could, but
you know, there's a second opportunity for so many of them to change their careers around.
Sure you could, and Ottawa had a great last year with being an underdog, beating New Jersey out, and then losing out to Washington. And I think that's something that this club, the Sabres, they always felt strong against this Ottawa Senator team, even though they've had playoff victories before in the past. But there's just an air of confidence, is what I was saying to Brian earlier, that continues, and I think Ottawa's got in their head that they know that.
Danny, Shatan takes the shot off the foot. The last word we had was he went off to the hospital for x-rays, but he was seen coming back into the building with a little bit of a limp, but I guess it's good news. Did you get a chance to talk to him?
I didn't get a chance. And one of the things that I saw him coming off, and he was limping, obviously, going and got x-rays, but let's hope that it's not that serious. I don't think it is. You know, when
we
get
got word it was negative.
Negative. Well, you know where you get it, and Roby used to do this to me all the time. He'd shoot the puck and hit me in the legs because he couldn't find the net.
You were 10 feet wide of the net, weren't you, at the time? Yeah.
And then I get it on my laces, and that's where I think he got it, right on the laces where there's no padding.
Well, I'll tell you, I had to shoot the puck pretty low to hit you in the foot. I'll tell you that much. Listen, I'll tell you where he's limping. You know why he's limping? If he keeps on playing the way he is right now, he'd be limping from carrying his wallet around.
Yeah, no kidding. And he's played so well. And one of the things that's nice about it, they're up 3-0. They really didn't need a Miro Shatan tonight where they needed him in the past.
Danny, great all-around performance. It was fun to watch tonight. We'll see if they can put these guys away on Tuesday. And boy, nothing like rest come the playoffs. That would be great if the Sabres could do that.
Looking forward to it, guys.
All right, Dan, thanks a lot. And Michael, why the change for this hockey club right now? What's been the difference into the postseason?
Well, Danny, geez. I haven't had a lot of time to think about this, but just let me, a few of the things that come to mind.
Take all the time you need.
I would think for a lot of these players in the last part of the season, they have been berated. They have been told that they're not playing well. And you know something? They haven't played well most of the second half of the season. There's times where they picked it up, and I thought they picked it up maybe in the last 5 or 6 games. They started showing some signs. But this game is a sport, but it's also a livelihood for a lot of players. There's a lot at stake individually for a lot of these players. Their contracts are up. Their pride also. And this is an opportunity for them to kick their season around, get rid of maybe some bad play for 2 or 3 months, and turn the whole thing around and turn it into a great season. That's what will happen if they play well in the playoffs. They'll forget about their play in the last 2 or 3 months.
And they're doing just that right now. And the head coach is at the podium. Let's rush back there.
Lindy, how did your club take complete control of this series from game 1 where Ottawa dominated, it seemed, and Dominic kind of stole one for you, and then to the complete reversal tonight? How did that happen?
Well, I don't think game 1 was typical of our hockey game, really. I thought game 1 in another team's building, we expected to get hit with a wave early. Our marquee player did what he was supposed to do and stole us a game. And I think, I've said it before, it's not unlike a Yager or a Korea or somebody that winning a game for another team. He won us a game, and I knew we could play a lot better, and we have since.
Lindy, a couple of new guys getting into the scoring column tonight with goals, Ward and Zinger, and just talk about Brian. One goal in the last 30 games coming in, 2 tonight.
Well, we've been a team that's scored by committee, and I think it's important. I've mentioned it now for quite some time that the supporting cast has to come up big with us. We lost Miro halfway through the second period, and we had other guys that stepped up. And I thought Brian skated extremely well tonight. Was in the right place at the right time, got the puck on the net, and Dixon got it all started for us.
How's Miro, by the way?
He has the ankle X-ray. The X-rays are negative, so it's a bruised ankle.
Lindy, can you talk about the job that you guys have done on Alexei Yashin? Because I think we clearly saw in Alexei Yashin that he's quite frustrated and very ineffective.
Well, I think he is frustrated. I think, we've made a point to keep coming, and even when we got the score up, we kept the same tune, and that was Pekka, Ward, and Verada. And I think it was important to just keep the foot down, and it's not easy. I've said it before that it's not easy. You got to play through it, and the 5 guys that have been on the ice have done a good job.
When did you get the goals you've gotten today going to the net? I mean, Brian went to the net twice. Verada went to the net to allow Ward to score. It just seems like they're doing the things now to get those kind of goals.
I think there were some things typical of last year's playoff team tonight. I thought Verada was just a machine down low. That he was tough to take the puck from. He went to the net extremely hard. He protected the puck. I think the Holzinger goal, the first one, was just an indication of getting there, stopping, and throwing the puck on net. In the previous months, we've opted a lot of times to try to pass there. We threw it on net, and it found a hole.
You said before the series that you wanted these guys to start having more fun, and that was one of the reasons that you had your defensemen pinching to create a little bit more offense. Have you seen that now? Did you see that in the third period where it looked like they were just having a sweet old time out there?
Well, they were having a good time, but it was still businesslike for them. You mentioned deep pinching. You look at the first goal was we dumped it in. One defenseman dumped it in. The other defenseman went and got it. Patrick kept it in the far right corner, and that led to the Holzinger goal. On the second goal. So there was Richard Smellick one time walked in all alone. Had kind of a brutal shot go, but.
Defensively, is this your best defensive stand that you've had thus far?
We played very good defensively. I think we've had all players really pay attention to every detail. We've tinkered and changed a few things here and there from game to game, but you can see it in their eyes, and you can see it with all the changing on the fly that we haven't been caught for too many men. Everybody knows their assignment, knows where they're going. A couple months ago, that we rang off a lot of too many min penalties because players just weren't into the game. Some of the times when you're in a lull, they're not paying attention, but our guys are on top of the mark right now.
Would it be pretty easy for a team, maybe up 3-0, to get too emotional, but now you're on the verge of being able to take the series in the fourth game? What do you do to keep them level-headed, I guess?
Well, I think the ultimate goal is a long ways away. Game 4 is one step toward it. I mentioned before that you can't get too high, you can't get too low. We've got to be businesslike. We know that obviously we've got them in a great position now, but once again, they have nothing to lose. And I think you see it in the last couple of months of the season where teams that aren't in the playoffs win a lot of hockey games because they're loose. They got nothing to lose. They're de-joined, they pinch, they don't care about breaks, and I think that's probably the approach you'll come with.
What's the key to play against that style now? What do you guys got to do to counter that desperate, who cares attitude they're going to have?
Well, the key to our game a lot is trying to contain and own the puck down low. I think we've done a good job of that. The first goal of the game was a point where we cycled it. I think Ottawa was a great cycling team. I think we've stolen a little bit out of their game plan where we've tried to own it down low, hang on to it, and create openings.
What did you think of the broom that it was heaved over the glass? It seemed like everybody kind of got a kick out of that on the bench.
I need one for my garage.
And you can talk about Michael Grosek. It seemed like he played much more disciplined today as opposed to the first 2 games.
He got an A+ for behavior tonight. He played a lot. I double shifted him. Had a long conversation again with him today. Just tried to get him focused, and I thought he was focused. and was out there just playing hockey.
Lindy, you said that they might come out desperately in the next game, but it seemed as if they lost the passion in the second period tonight.
Well, I think it's frustrating. You've been frustrated offensively. I think you look at our team in the last 2 months before the playoffs. When you're not scoring goals, there's not a lot of fun out there. And I think our goaltender has taken some of their fun away. I think how hard we've worked defensively has done the job in the rest of that area. So it's easy to feel that way when you're on that side.
We have a couple more questions, or one more. Lindy, do you think Game 4 might be a lot more chippy than what you've seen the first 3 games? Just because of the circumstances that they're in?
Well, you should see a lot more desperation. I don't know if you'll see a lot. I thought our game plan eliminated a little bit of emotion early, but there should be more desperation in the game.
Jacques Martin will come in, and then Brian.
Yeah, Rip, Lindy Russ press conference.
All right, Lindy Russ, post-game press conference. Sabres easy winners tonight, 3-0, the lead in this series now. 1 game away from the second round. Let's go to John in Amherst, our first call of the evening. Hi, John. John.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
How you doing, guys?
Good. Thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Feels good, doesn't it, to win 3 games in a row?
They're playing well.
Ooh, yeah, they are. Hey, I got a couple things to say. First of all, I'd like to say something about Jeff Sanderson. He's coming to this team, but nothing but basically play like crap. I think he sucks. We should trade him. And next year.
All right, John. Nice start to the evening. Whatever. I don't know. Easy win for this club tonight, Michael?
An easy win, and I think Sanderson's worked as hard as he can possibly work. He's done everything but scoring. And in the meantime, if you're not scoring, you're supposed to be scoring goals, and you're doing everything else you can. You've got to buy into that. And just like Barnes and a couple other players aren't scoring right now, they're not hurting the team defensively. And that's all you can do until you finally start scoring again.
All right, we do have to take a break. We're going to take a quick timeout and come right back on the Labatt Hockey Island. We'll show you the goals and take more of your phone calls in a moment. We talked about in the pregame show, it's not brain surgery, especially in the playoffs, the importance of the first goal. And, Buffalo gets it again tonight, and they really never looked back. And there's a great play where the Sabres are back-checking off defense into offense, Mike, and I know you want to take us through this.
Yeah, I thought it was a very simple, outstanding play. Let's take a look at it here, and you'll see the play by Verada. It doesn't look like much, but this is such an important play. Just hold on right there. You can see here's Verada right here. Now, so many times you'll see a guy go up the center of the ice, or in this area here. He makes a real simple play here, Brian. Off the boards. And out it goes, and you'll see the man pick it up, and this will turn into a goal. Okay, let it roll. And all of a sudden, that's just not a simple play. It's a very important play, isn't it?
Nice pass by Peckett to get some open ice for Ward.
Right. And you'll see Ward work in the corner now. Just keep an eye in front. You'll see everybody setting up. See Verada once again gets tied up with the defenseman. He must have a man in there. And also, like a goal scorer, watch him hold on to the puck here. He slides right across. Beautiful lateral move, and he just snaps it in with a quick little wrist shot. But look at right here in front. Verada does a big job, start and finish.
Gives Ward the working room to find that extra little fraction of a second that gives him that good look at it. And Buffalo had the early lead, leading at 1-0 after the first period of play. The second period, 2 goals by Brian Holzinger. Hasek really, comparatively speaking to what we saw in Ottawa, had a very easy evening tonight. But again, the difference comes down to goaltending. Holzinger didn't waste any time. He spun and he shot it. But this is a very soft goal that gave Buffalo the important 2-goal cushion.
And so important for some of these players to get scoring goals. It's been a long time for Brian, and hopefully this will turn into something a little more consistent. But he certainly was in the right spot at the right time. And you'll see the initial shot will go in right around the net here. Here's some good work by Buffalo. Right in the corner, I think that was Patrick that might have stood up. And Holzinger was there and does a nice little spinorama move right here. Not much on the puck, but it was good enough. The goaltender was down. It seemed like about 20 minutes before he even took the shot.
And how many goals have Buffalo scored down in this series? And it all starts with a defenseman pinching in at the right time.
Yeah, and that's something they're doing now. The defensemen are standing up and helping this team offensively. Why they waited so long, I have no idea. Maybe they should have been doing this about 2 months ago.
The importance of a face-off, Zhitnik, and fire at home. Woolley shoots it in a nice redirect by Holzinger.
I mean, is it face-off? Back to the point. Slide it across. Put the puck on the net. Holzinger finds a position. He goes to the net. Primo goes to the net. And one of them tip it. And you can see Holzinger just in behind here. He'll set his stick up. Nothing lucky about that. The good hand-eye coordination.
High marks for Holzinger on that play. He wins the draw cleanly and goes to the net, and good things happen when you go to the net. And the Sabres in complete control, 3-0. Third period, Buffalo very conservative. The highlight of the third period was when that guy threw the broom on the ice in the closing seconds. And there it is. The fans are thinking sweep already. And
I know what Rose's thinking right now to do with that broom.
You have an experience like that.
Because that's pretty embarrassing when you see a broom come out in the ice, and especially the season they had. Other than tonight's game, Ottawa has played pretty good so far in this series, and very disappointed in their effort tonight, though. This was a hockey club that, I'll tell you, if they had any zip in them, they certainly didn't have it in them after about 2 or 3 shifts, because Buffalo just started pounding the living daylights out of them.
3-0 was the final. With the shutout, Dominik Hasek ties Bobby Sauve for career playoff shutout wins. Remember those 2 back-to-back. Was at those games up in the Forum in Montreal, and those were sweet, sweet victories on the road. Hasek gets the job done for this club on the road in Ottawa, comes home and gets a shutout.
Well, nice break for the guy, too, after the first 2 games.
I
mean, tonight, he didn't have to do handstands. He was challenged 3 or 4
easy night
occasions, but I mean, that's so important. That gives Dominik a break, too. Also, he gets a second win and a breather.
But you know what? I mean, when we say, we do sit here and say, easy night for him. The bottom line is, very rarely does this guy let bad goals in. And they're the kind of goals that deflate a hockey club, and Hasek, nothing was getting by him tonight.